PEFC, where do we work? We're a global alliance of national forest certification systems. So in this world map, you see the dark green. That represents our members that are responsible for certifying more than 300 million hectares globally. And the blue dots on this map represent the chain of custody certificate holders, where we have more than 20,000 globally. These different logos you can see are our national members that have their own identity, like you can see this SFI in North America, SJEG in Japan, and most importantly for rubber, we have covered the main producing countries that represent the main producing region of Asia. And this shows how PEFC is contributing to SDG number 12. Next, thanks. So what's driving certification? We've chosen two examples here, one from the consumer country, Holland, where they have a TPAC, and they have assessed PEFC to be in full conformity. And so this is for the public procurement of the Dutch government. Another important assessment of PEFC is the responsible investment in agriculture and food systems, otherwise known as ASEAN RAI. We scored the highest ranking because of our approach. We call it the bottom-up approach, which works with national stakeholders, and that means that we can be part of intergovernmental regional processes. Thanks, John. So what are the two types of certification we promote? The first is where you can see our avatar, Ari, planting her rubber plantation. We certify the plantations first, and that means that we have healthy forests, healthy workers, healthy communities, and a healthy local economy. And then to connect Ari to the end user, we have the chain of custody certification. This is the second type that PEFC uses, and the chain of custody ensures the origin is from sustainably managed forests, and it also provides a due diligence system that I'll go into a bit more to deliver controlled sources. This is part of our third-party certification system, and we address some key issues such as health, safety, and labour. And then we have one part called the trademark, which is how to communicate. Sorry, now, next. So we often think about where does our certificate come from, or how do you get certified? In the bottom right-hand corner, you have a certificate, and you either get a chain of custody or forest management certificate from the certification body. And these are some of the international well-known certification bodies. But PEFC has a very strong system behind it, which is what we call third-party internationally accredited certification. So those certification bodies, they have to use the standards that are set by our national governing bodies. You see here those from Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia. They are members of PEFC for the forestry sustainability standards. But we also have an important third process of accreditation done by the national accreditation bodies. Here you can see that the ones from Germany, like DAX, or China, we make sure that they are also members of the International Accreditation Forum. So this brings the international recognition. And this is all based on ISO. And then we can go on to the standards. And we have two core standards, and I'll go into each of those a little bit, but I don't want to forget about the next part of this slide, which we have supporting standards. And this includes how to do group certification, which is very important in rubber, and also requirements for how to use the trademark, which is how we can ensure that our system has integrity. So here you can see the main standards, and the number above them talks about how many requirements there are. Next, thanks, man. So looking at the main standard for sustainable forest management, PEFC has it as an international benchmark standard, and it has 140 requirements under 6 principles. And these are the 6 principles here that cover forest resources, ecosystem health, production, productive functions, etc. So each one of the national certification systems may have slightly different standards, but they have to have been independently assessed against our benchmark that provides the international mutual recognition of national standards. And then each forest manager, each forest organisation that is certified has to meet all of these requirements. Next, please, now. Now, to go from sustainable forest management to the chain of custody, this is a supply chain for rubber that can deliver the certified product because the forest, the plantation and the supply chain actors are certified and they can pass on the claim. The way they pass on the claim is with this left-hand document, which is a document associated with delivery that has a specific claim of PEFC certification for a particular product connected to their chain of custody, connected to their certifications, which is on the right-hand side. And each time a claim is passed on, it is checked against our database to make sure that it's valid. And for example, in rubber, making sure that it's inside the scope of the certified entity that is passing you on the products with the claim of PEFC certification. Next, thanks. Another part of the chain of custody I mentioned was the due diligence system. And this is very relevant to rubber because a lot of the rubber source is uncertified. So for that reason, the due diligence system inside our chain of custody, it covers the core elements of sustainability and covers legality so that it can be considered controlled source and mixed with certified material. The process for this is done through these steps: accessing information, completing a risk assessment, having a substantiated concerns management system, and then if a significant risk supplier is managing them through a verification program, and if they don't meet the requirements, no placement on the market. So in addition to SFM, we have this due diligence system that allows controlled sources. Next, thanks. Then the last part of our system along this supply chain is a trademark, and this helps to communicate that your company is meeting this list of positive attributes. And our labels we can use on product or we can use off product. So off product could be for the organization, on product could be for block rubber or for rubber wood, and it's each one of these logos that has an individual number that can then be used as part of the traceability system. Next, thanks. So to finish, I would like to answer your question on how to become certified. There are 3 main steps. One is getting prepared. So contact us, contact your CB, prepare for your audit. I hope it's not all foreign to you because you have other certifications like ISO. Go through the audit and then communicate that you've got certified products and that your organization is certified. So that brings me to the end of the PEFC technical framework. I'll hand it back to you. Thanks now.
Thank you, Richard, for such a comprehensive presentation. Just a small reminder to everyone, if you have any question, please put it in the Q&A section. We would love to see as many questions as possible. Okay, so now we're going to have a poll question. Mr. A, would you please share the screen? Mr. A, could you share it again, please?
I think the participants can see that.
Okay.
And we have 3 answers already.
Oh. Okay, so the question is, what are types of the PEFC certification? You will have 15 seconds to answer. Mr. A, could you please share screen? It seems I couldn't see it.
I think we can see it when Mr. A closes it. So I think that we've got almost 50%.
Right. Yes. So we have 102, so 50% of participation. Thank you very much for everyone. So we will see few people have let's say not super correct answer, that is the due diligence system. We would like to note here that PEFC have two types of certification, that is sustainable forest management and chain of custody. For the due diligence system, that is one mandatory part of the chain of custody. So thank you everyone for the active participating. And now, okay, so with the Puni end, now I would like to invite Runapa. Runapa is the project manager from Thai Forest Certification Council. Runapa will talk about group certification for rubber smallholder case study in Thailand. The floor is yours, Runapa.
Thank you, Nga. Yes, thank you for introducing me. And good afternoon from Thailand, everyone. Yeah, before I share my experience on group certification in Thailand, I just would like to bring you to the rubber situation in Thailand first. As you know, Thailand is the biggest